Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where everything's moving and grooving because we finished a major project last time. Fused modular frames. And because of our great success, today is going to be a bit of a fun day messing around with a new production chain that was added in Satisfactory 1.0. Dissolved silica, a recipe I forgot to unlock earlier, because I was planning to use it in our main nuclear power plant build, but I kind of forgot I left it in the hard drive library. Whoopsies! And there it is, Quartz purification. It's a really interesting recipe that uses nitric acid, makes dissolved silica, and a ton of quartz crystals, which is exactly what we need to finish up today's project. So let's unlock that and review the plan, which is all of this. This is Satisfactory Modeler, it's free on Steam, and I've been using it to help lay out our projects. The main one is pressure conversion cubes. The fused modular frames are kind of the hard part of that whole project, and that is all done. Fun times. And now we just need a radio control unit. And the radio control unit needs, a couple things. But good news, half of these things are done. We already have all of the Caterium, we have all of the oil and aluminum done. So really, it's a little bit of copper, a lot of quickwire, and all of those quartz products. So thank you, past Kibs, for working on those, buddy. Now, if only you had actually looked at your notes and realized how much freaking copper we need for this project. Spoilers, it's a lot. So we'll work on that first before we get into the dissolved silica stuff. And fun fact, it turns out we need, 100 more refineries built in here. Yippee. Luckily, this is a very, very big building. So all of the excess space that we can find around here, you better believe that is going to be for our blueprints, which we will have to spam out the wazoo. Unfortunately, we can't really use power shards because I've used pretty much all of them in the world, and we have 21 left. So that's why we have to build so many of these machines. In fact, since this is such a big project, I think we're gonna make a new blueprint for this as well. One thing with this refinery setup is we have all of the items go through here, and then the water would just go through there. But I've been messing around with a lot of blueprints in this playthrough, and stacking the blueprints has proved to be very, very, very efficient, especially space-wise. So instead, we're gonna modify this to be a stacked blueprint, kind of like this one here. Will we stack 2 refineries on top of each other? Is that possible? I just kind of need to know for myself here. All of the floors in this building are the same height. They're about 8 tiles tall. And technically, it doesn't work. If we just had this centered here, I know it's clipping into the ceiling, but is it clipping too much? This could get interesting, right? Let's see, how's the next floor looking? Okay, almost worked, but ooh, it ain't gonna work. Maybe in future builds we could do something like this. But for now, we'll get rid of this, we'll get rid of that, and hit up the blueprint maker. All right. So for these blueprints, typically, I like to have a nice little foundation right down the middle here. Then I'll build all of the machines on top of it. So start with that, grab our refineries, build them up here. Just usually works out pretty well that way. And why I build this foundation underneath here is because when I get rid of it, there's plenty of room to do all the belt and pipe. Ooh, the pipe work. I didn't really think about the pipe work. That could be a problem. But first, the belt work is fine. Yeah, that's good. Pipe work though. Can we fit a water pipe down here? It will probably clip into the machine above. But you know what? I think it would look cool. And I don't know about y'all, but I am a rule of cool Satisfactory player, okay? Now please just work. Everything is good today. It looks cool, it will work, it's perfect. So I just updated the design, added in a little bit more space, changed it to red like the rest of our base here, and this is it. All of the inputs are off to the right and to the left, and just because of how the spacing worked, it made sense just to have all of the splitters and mergers a little bit far out to deal with all of the items and stuff like that. as we had to use this tile anyway to get the conveyor lifts in. Because of that though, we have pretty much a whole free tile right down the center. So when we stack this blueprint 50, 100,000 times, we'll have plenty of room to deal with all the belt work and other shenanigans. Good, we have the blueprint. Now do we have the space? We had that one corner over by the trucks, but 100 refineries? It's a lot of machines, okay? It's a lot of machines. I'm not super confident we have this much space left, but we gots to try. All right, so let's just start over here. Can we fit 6 in a row here? How many items does each machine need as well? We'll leave half a tile here in case we need like a water pipe flowing through there. Let's give this a check. 15 copper ore plus 10 water for 37.5 copper ingots. This pure copper ingot recipe, man, it is so freaking good. But it's because it forces you to build so many machines. It's not a lot of items, man. Oh, so many refineries, so much power. And our power grid, well, last time after we made those fused modular frames, we didn't need to look at that. It's fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. Let's just have fun and fill the rest of the space here with blueprints, shall we? Yeah, let's just distract ourselves. And the big goal is to build enough refineries to deal with a 600 belt of copper ore. So if each refinery needs 15 ore per minute, 600 divided by 15 is 40. I think we may have actually just built 40 here. 3, 6, 12, 18, 24, that's 30, that's not 40, that's not good. Where can we build the extra 10? Oh no, do we build them over here? Not enough space. Do we overclock a couple of them? That's cursed. Do we build them up higher? That doesn't work either. This could be a problem. And unfortunately, I've come to the realization that it simply is what it is. We don't have a lot of space left in our area here. So if I can fit refineries, we'll fit them. Unfortunately, it won't be a perfect 600 belt of copper ore that we can set into the system. We're just gonna have to set copper belts all over the place. And that's how it'll be. Good news though, all of these machines are all hooked up. The belt work had to get a little finicky, but that's character, right? Right? At the end of the day, we'll have our inputs and outputs all ready to go. And we're just gonna move on. We're gonna try and find little corners where we can fit more refineries. This space though, that's reserved. You'll see why later. Wait, is that refinery space right there? Unironically, this is ooh, how it's gonna be. Excuse me, past Kibitz, you gentlemen. Look at all this. Is this mine? I think so. Yeah, if we find space like this, this is refinery town now. We're cashing in the chips, as they say. And it's looking pretty good. What was that just now? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30? Yeah. Wow, so now we have 60 out of the 100 we need. Pretty cool. And look at how this is looking too. Pretty snazzy. Is this gonna be super easy? Barely an inconvenience? Wait, actually, maybe. We need how many more? 40 more. I'm thinking of even using some of our very limited power shards as well. Like, if it's gonna go this smoothly, why not? Oh, because we're gonna run out of materials. Come on, come on. There we go. Well, while I wait for more stuff then, let's review the plan. All this copper, what are we doing with it? We need it for quickwire, okay? And then, oh no, copper sheets. That uses more refineries. Uh-oh, just wait 1 second here, pal. How many refineries do we have to build for that? What's the ratio? Steamed copper sheets, 22.5 ingots, plus a little bit of sip, and you get 22.5 copper sheets out. So it's 1 ingot per 1 sheet. That is an amazing recipe. Like if you look in just a constructor at the normal recipe, you lose half of your copper. So we have to use refineries for this. There's no alternative. Now, let me check my notes here. How many refineries for copper sheets do we need? Well, we need 1,209 copper sheets. Divided by 22.5 per refinery. So we need another 54 refineries built. But you know what? I think I can make it work. But my goodness, just barely. 100 refineries takes up a lot of space. And at the end of the day, I did have to use some of our precious power shards, and now we only have 9 in the world. Those lizard doggos we trained earlier, they're gonna have to really carry us through here. But for now, we're good. We have all of the refineries built. Filled up this corner, all over this way, even more refineries. And then as for the belt work in the water, wasn't too bad. We have old Lake Sippy to thank for that. You see, one of the reasons I chose this location for my main base is because behind it was this little pond here. And oh my goodness, have we abused this poor little pond. But it is worth it, because we had all the water we needed to bring back to base and fuel our production. And what's even better is past Kibs also yoinked all the resources that are nearby. I didn't know exactly what I'd do with them, but I grabbed them anyway, because I thought may as well. And it turns out that was a pretty good idea, because all this stuff we need. We need Caterium, we need the Quartz, we needed that copper, and that copper got sent directly to the refineries. So that is good to go. Power, oh, we haven't connected it up yet because kinda brought it down to the wire there. I was doing a stress test with our fused modular frames here, and I just wanted to see how long the grid could actually last. Turns out, not very long. But now all the bins are filled, machines have stopped, and the grid will survive a little bit longer. Long enough for us to make all of our copper ingots. So water in place, ready to go, numbers worked out, and all in, 100 refineries makes 3,750 copper ingots per minute. Yeah, those radio control units we're after, a little crazy. That's okay. Once we have those control units, we can make our pressure conversion cubes. Once we have the pressure conversion cubes, we're unstoppable. Also, did I actually connect the water up over here? Oh, here we go. Nice and simple. Water pipes just go on through, and then I kind of haphazardly just added in junctions everywhere. And it should work just fine. I even added a little fluid buffer at the end here. At the end here, excuse me? Ring ring, hello. At the end here, just to make sure that the fluids kind of bounce back and forth and there are no issues with throughput. We have enough of those already, thank you. Wait, what is this? Trucks? You okay there, friends? You have fuel. Are you just shy? A little bit of nervousness with the boss flying around here? What about a little toot? You good now? Yeah? How about you? Ready to perform? Just a little motivation? Yes? No? What? Okay. Just stopped for literally no reason at all. Classic truck conundrums. We'll leave them to it. Now that we have all of the aluminum ingots and our power situation is not catastrophic, let's work on the copper sheets. It's another 55 refineries, but we have a lot of space right here for them. And if I clear out all these belts so they're not inefficiently placed, that'll be fine. Probably, hopefully, maybe. Where are these belts even going? Why did I just build them in the middle of the floor? Why do I have all this coal here? Am I using this? What is happening? What is this? I don't remember half of the stuff I've done around here, okay? It's been so long. The build is so large. It's just like, I'm discovering this all with you guys. Where did the coal go? Somehow it's over here? Did I use that for aluminum? It's just simply gone. Okay, sure. I don't care. A mystery for future Kibs to solve. For now, let's just grab the same blueprint we used over here and we'll rebuild it over this way for our copper sheets. It's all nice and convenient. It's all the same items pretty much. A solid and sip, get our sheets, and GGEZ. Oh, but what's even better is, you know what? When I was looking around for that coal, turns out, yes, it's just going towards the aluminum stuff, but when I was investigating the aluminum stuff, look at what I found here. It's a pipe that goes to nowhere, and another pipe that goes to nowhere, and another pipe that goes to nowhere. That's 1,800 water per minute, just free to use for anything. And now I can reroute it for those copper sheets. Now because of that, everything works out fine. And the copper sheets are complete. And thank goodness as well, because Lake Sippy here does not have much more sip to give. And I don't have much more sanity to spare either, because, oh, the pipe work, the belt work, it was a bit of a, there's a lot of it. This area, It's getting crazy, but it's looking so cool. Because with this project, I really filled in a lot of the dead space that was still around the area here. There's a few little spots that are reserved, but for the most part, I am very happy we built at such a scale because we really needed it. But you know what else we need? We need lots and lots of Caterium. And we brought a bunch of Caterium into the base here, right? And I know we're making a bunch of Caterium ingots for our factory of factories. That's just our area where we automate all the stuff for our dimensional depot. But how much exactly do we have here? Oh, fully overclocked, eh? Ooh, 30 per minute? Really? 3, 6, 9, 10. That's 600 Caterium ingots per minute, you're telling me? It's 300. Well, now that we have this done, I'm looking at this, right? Well, how much quickwire do I want? Let's check some numbers. The goal of having the copper and the quickwire is so we can make AI limiters. I think we want these ones. The normal recipe? No, just checking my notes. We're actually gonna be using the plastic AI limiter recipe. 120 quickwire per 8. Yikes. But then how many AI limiters do we want? 55 according to my notes. So 55 divided by 8 is 7. Okay, 7 of these times 120. 840 quickwire. Okay. This makes 90 per minute. Hold up, these numbers are looking kind of good. Divided by 90, it's 9.3. 9.3 times 7.5. Nice. We only need 70 quickwire per minute for this whole project. And look, got 300 per minute just sitting right over here. You know, it's called being efficient. It's sitting right here. Why dabble in building even more refineries right now? We've already built 150 today. Look, I'm just convincing myself, okay? We're totally yoinking this. Where are we bringing it to? So if the goal is oh, that space right there? We're bringing it right to here. I don't even care. This is where we're making all of our quickwire. Yep, this is quickwire space now. One of the wonders of having such tall floors is I can subdivide them for smaller machines like the assemblers and things. So now look at all that. Wow, wow, wow. There's a clip with the machines down here. Nope, plenty of room. Great. Well, then we can go to our blueprints. I have a assembler blueprint for quickwire. I've had this forever now. And we can just spam this up. Each of these assemblers makes 90 quickwire per minute. We just did the math on it, but I forgot already. How many of these do we need? Oh, we need 9.16 assemblers for this project. So in one click, it's practically done. We'll just have to overclock this a little bit. So now that's 9. And for the 1.6, we'll just fully overclock it all the way. So 225 plus 630 for the rest there is 855. So we're all good. All of those will be going into making AI limiters, which is more assemblers. And because of this great recipe here, we only need about 7 of these assemblers actually. So a lot of these we can just put to like 50% clock speed once we set the recipe anyway. And that is pretty much done. Cool. Now it's just time for more belt work. Woo! Where is the copper? Where is the Caterium? The Caterium goes up here. Is that Caterium right there? Could we just do a little bit of, Oh, we can't do that? Oh, okay. Didn't want to do that anyway. I guess we can copy our designs over this way, where I'll just bring the belt of Caterium to here. Then we'll encase a lift that goes up to the next floor, and that's done. Copper, I don't want to think about it. Can we just boop that, Kibitz? Yes, of course, Kibitz. No problem, buddy. Thank you. Gotta love to boop things. And actually, it's so much fun bringing all these belts all throughout here. It's so chaotic, and I love it. It was always part of the dream design of this area, and whew, is it coming together now. So all these machines are ready to go. Got the Caterium, got the copper. Everything will go to the bin. And we'll let her rip. At least that's what I'd say if we had plastic. I don't have any plastic. In all my schemes and all of my plans, I used all of the oil in our area to turn it all into rhubarb. So we have thousands and thousands and thousands of rhubarb per minute, but zero plastic at all. So what do we do? Wait a second, what is this? My notes imply that there might be some plastic left around here. You guys see any plastic belts? Well, if anywhere, it's gonna be over this way. So we're doing this giant like rubar setup over on all these floors with all these pipes this way. And we're making a bunch of plastic here to be recycled into the rubar, but aha! We have some excess polymer resin that's going this way and doing what? Just nothing? Being synced? That's, well, how much rubber do we need? We only need 7 of these assemblers here. Each of them needs 28 plastic per minute. So we really only need 200 plastic per minute. And this is not looking like 200 per minute at all. And I'm using it for my dimensional depot. Okay, you know, let's not use that. Wait! Everything's gonna be great. I have reserved the space for the plastic eons ago, as in from like last video. Last time, we set up this diluted fuel system. This is for the fused modular frames. However, we had a little bit too much fuel being produced here. And where did it go? Right over here to ye ol' pipeline, where we have 300 fuel per minute. Right next to the fuel, we happen to have 300 polymer resin per minute. If the system was working, okay? But yeah, we should have 300 there, 300 fuel. So we could do a whole recycled plastic plant right here. This can be fun. So the plan would be to use the polymer resin with some water to make some rubar. With the rubar, we would take that and make recycled plastic out of it with some fuel. Then we get a ton of plastic. And running through the numbers in Satisfactory Modeler, it will work perfectly. The 300 polymer resin combined with some water makes a rubar. Little bit of fuel makes 300 plastic per minute. Plus, we'll have extra fuel, so I guess we'll burn it? I don't know. Main thing is it's fine. Swatch, you're back in black. Machines, come over this way. And now it's just gonna be a matter of space at this point. So 300 divided by 40, 7.5, not good. Let's see if we can build 4. We can build 4, no problem. And at this point, I think we're gonna have to use power shards. The Lizard Doggos gave us a couple more, so we're on the edge still. But so long as we have the few we need for this one last project, everything's gonna work out. We have a couple there, then we'll turn this sucker around, because now we're gonna start using the fuel and the rubar we just made to make the recycled plastic. Hopefully we don't have to overclock this. And it's just gonna be 5 refineries to make the 300. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So recycled plastic Dunskies. Gosh, these recipes are so good. Oh, but now we just have to get rid of 150 fuel per minute. Like I said, we can just burn it, right? Just get the old fuel burner and how do these things work again? It's been a long time. Burn rate 20 per minute? What? We have to build so many of these. 150 divided by 20 is like 7.5, right? Oh my gosh. I don't know if we have the space for that. I refuse to overclock these fuel generators, okay? I refuse. Let's just see what we can do here. 1, 2, 3. All right, that looks good. Do we have any room over here? Technically, can build 1, 2, 3. That's going to be very annoying to set up, but we can. And I'm seeing space right here, right now. And that works out great. So it went very, very overkill, and now we have way too many fuel generators, but that's okay. I want this fuel to keep on moving and grooving, because if fuel can't get produced, that means it will back up. If the fuel backs up, the heavy oil residue gets backed up, and we don't get the resin. If we don't get the resin, we don't get the plastic. We don't get the plastic, then we don't get the pressure conversion cubes. If we don't get the pressure conversion cubes, our nuclear power plant in the future will blow up, and that is not very cash money. So, overkill it is. Let's be honest, at this point, it's doing whatever is really necessary to get the job done. The belt work is crazy, the project's insane, but the projects are almost complete. What did I forget here? You just have to go from A to B, and there we go. AI limiters, yoinked. Man, we are flying today, actually, and it's been a lot of fun. Working with blueprints, good freaking time. All these blueprints are available on Patreon, by the way, if you want to support me over there and use them yourself. And with those AI limiters done, what's next on the agenda? You're done. Ooh, crystal oscillators, but here we go. They need quartz crystals. Circuit boards need silica. Excellent. Okay, then the last thing we can really do is work on these aluminum casings. Then, new recipe time. Bad news though, the casings, we need thousands of them, like 3,300, but that's only about 30 assemblers, which is practically equivalent to one chunk. So we'll throw this chunk blueprint in right here in this empty space. Then we just need another 6 assemblers-ish that we can throw this way, and I can use another blueprint later, just want to check the space. 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's all the assemblers built for the whole project. Easy peasy. However, I've noticed a bit of a theme here. Whenever the machines are simple, it's the belt work that's is a whole thing. We needed about 4,400 aluminum ingots. So we had to go bring them all the way up, bring them all the way back down, bring them on over, and then balance them out a little bit. Most of the machines in the chunk are fine. It's just one belt to one set, and off they go. And then for the few machines over here, this is kind of where I dealt with the decimals and stuff. And we ended up with a little bit of ingots free, which is great. And then I had to do the same thing as I did with the aluminum ingots with the copper ingots, because for the casings we need a ton of copper as well. I did that all along the ceiling here though, because a lot of the copper ingots that we're producing earlier were kind of in this area here. Like we made the bunch over there, made a few up this way, so I just brought them all downstairs, over across here, and you know, it was okay. A little bit of math, a little bit of smart splitters with overflow being set in, but it should work out once we have the Mark 6 belts. This whole system is designed around Mark 6 belts, so I have to upgrade this later on. Right now, it'll do what it can, and our casings will end up in the bins. But the big news here is that we're done. We're done with all the side projects shenanigans, and it is time for the fun. Let's see how all this works. And we're gonna look things over off in our creative world here. So I have advanced game settings on, and I can fly, do all that jazz, unlimited items, etc., etc. And we're just gonna run through the production process. We could use the Satisfactory modeler program for this, but you know what? Seeing it visually, like set up, is a lot more interesting in my opinion. And it's gonna be a little weird. So we need to make the dissolved silica first. So raw quartz, nitric acid, and then we get the goods. So nitric acid will have to be involved. Nitric acid, not a big deal though. It's nitrogen gas, which is a bit of a rare resource, but according to my numbers, we should have enough of it to spare, so I'm not worried about using it in this project. A couple iron plates, and oh no, water. That actually might be the biggest issue. Lake Sippy is not looking too hot. But then once we have the acid, it's just the quartz, off into the crystals, which we need, and the dissolved silica. The dissolved silica, I think we just make into silica here, into distilled silica. The dissolved plus limestone, plus even more water, gets us a heck of a lot of silica bud. And water back. That's so strange, actually. We're gonna have to loop each of these machines, well, kind of like I set up right there, but back into itself, like so. That could introduce some problems, but it only means that each of these machines needs 20 water per minute net, which is really good. And also, this is a bit of a closed loop, at least at this end, where we don't have to worry about the water from here affecting the water from here or there or whatever. Like if there's gonna be a problem, it's only gonna be with one machine. And that's kinda nice. And this whole system seems very, very interesting. Math-wise though, the numbers are amazing when it comes to the quartz crystals and the amount of silica you get. It's just, yeah, you have to sacrifice some nitrogen gas, where in some scenarios, it could be a little spooky. And with the visual done though, let's just check it out in the modeler here. And yeah, this is kind of what I mean. Whereas if we have 1,200 raw quartz, and we use this whole system, we end up with 750 quartz crystals and 1,350 silica. Plus we'll need another 250 limestone and a bit of other stuff. Whereas if we used more traditional methods, i.e. just pure recipes, where we combine resources with water, I would use half of that raw quartz to make about 500 quartz crystals. So pretty big discrepancy there. And then the other half of the quartz would be combined with 1,000 limestone to make about 1,400 silica per minute. And upon further inspection, if you're looking for just the ultimate quartz efficiency, this recipe is technically still better, and it doesn't use nitrogen gas. Except it's just not fun. Let me tell you, it's not a fun time. I've done this 100,000 times. It's just not as cool as the new kid on the block. So probably in the future, we'll go back to this. But for now, since we can get away with it, it's time to distill the silica. And back to the Let's Play world. Now it's time for our favorite game. Where do we find the space? After building the 150 copper-related refineries, it's quite the luxury now. Not a lot of good areas left. Like, there's some areas that I've left for belt work. This area down here is meant to be utilized alongside the train there at some point. And beneath there is catastrophic. There might just be enough space over here though. I'm seeing ceiling space. Maybe we could make like a subfloor here. Oh, no, I don't think so. What about up here? Trucks. Hey, what's going on? Hey, you're moving again. Congratulations on the moving and grooving. Still, no space though for Mr. Kibbs. Over that way, refineries out the wazoo. We have a little bit of space over there, but I have that reserved for something else. Wait. We have blenders here, and I have maybe an idea? Yes, this is it. This can work. Okay, we're gonna somehow fit all of the refineries and everything right in here. It'll be fine, because I got a great idea. We are going to use half of this floor for our production. Over here, this stuff is all just production stuff for our factory of factories, i.e. our dimensional depot stuff. But this is just the logistics lane that has already been used. Don't need to worry about it anymore, which means we can use the remaining space for other shenanigans. It's like a shelf for blenders. And we have more blenders over here, and we have the water pipes there, and ooh, the nitrogen gas. For this project, we need about 300 nitrogen gas, and I remember from last time, we had 300 free. This was always part of the plan. It's really just if the plan will work. I have no idea. How do we start this all off again? We need refineries. Refineries to make the distilled stuff. And we're gonna be bringing a pure belt of raw quartz in here, which means we're gonna need 10 refineries. We can absolutely fit 10 refineries here. And with this new blueprint I put together earlier, that is gonna be super, super simple. In fact, I love this blueprint. It just works out so much better. It's so much easier to work with. I've just been having a blast with it. And already that's 3, 6, 9. And you know what? The spacing is so nice. Screw it. We have 33 at this point. Well, if we're still floating, we'll keep moving and grooving. The rest of them though, no overclock, thank you. So that's the 10 of those in place. Fits like a glove. Now we just need the nitric acid. And I wish we could just yoink some from over here. Over here, we're making all of the nitric acid for our fused modular frames over that way. So all of this is accounted for, and we're gonna have to build a whole new system. I don't think we need all that much nitric acid though. Maybe I should count. 10 times 10, 100 nitric acid. Each of these blenders can make 30? The math is so simple. It's 4 blenders. You can fit 4 blenders in here, right? Ooh, it's cutting it down to the wire there, friends. But that works. 4 blenders in here making the nitric acid. We'll find iron plates, I don't know, somewhere downstairs, don't really care. Water, oh, poor Lake Sippy. We'll visit it soon. Our last step though is the extra blenders for silica. What are the ratios on that one, Chief? 120 dissolved silica per blender, and we are making 600. So 600 divided by 120. 5 is a number I can work with. Okay, 5 of you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, my dreams. I will make this work. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need one more. Oh, easy. We can just build out this way. No problem at all. So that's the whole setup then, right? I think so. I am a little scared about all of the fluid pipes. So maybe we should figure that out. Dissolved silica, we're making, oh my gosh, we're making 600 dissolved silica per minute? Hold up. You know what that means? That means that's one full pipe, but we're gonna be making two. We have these two giant industrial fluid buffers over here, and I wanna mirror them over this way. So we'll have two giant buffers right here. This stuff, that'll be moved. Usually with projects like these, I like to build out the machines just to make sure we have enough space, and then I'll figure out the specifics as we kind of go from there. It's like, hey, is this possible? Yes, then we'll rock and roll. And then yeah, we'll split it 5 and 5. So we'll have 5 of the refineries go towards one of these bins. I guess we'll need another color swatch A for pink. Wow, that is literally perfect. Good job, Kibs. Thanks, Kibs. And there we go. And then that will have both the dissolved silica ready to rock and roll. And most importantly, want to use these clean pipes because this is one of the only points in the playthrough where we're going to have pink pipes. And they look very nice. We'll have the pink pipes go up to the wall and then start going up to all of the blenders that are on the shelf. As for the dissolved silica from the refineries, well, if we set up the water over here, we could probably get a pipeline just underneath here as well then, right? Build one stand there, another stand right over here. And looking at the aesthetics, cool. It doesn't look that good. Like the yellow and the pink kind of clashes, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's all this red. We can't have these be red. Do we make them pink? Maybe we do. That's kind of nice. Or do we make them black? No, look, we have a whole swatch dedicated to this one project. We're making them pink. That is the dealio. Then everything will have to fit to go to here, over to there, and into those machines. And you know, this whole thing has worked really well, but please, if you don't mind, pour one out for Lake Sippy here because we can't handle this any longer. I had to get more water extractors set up in the corner, and the beans are freaking out. Like, why? Why do you need so much? Because the production is insane and requires so many shenanigans. But the pipe work is dealt with, and thank goodness it actually didn't end up using a lot of water like net. So we actually have 400 water free. Just loaded it all up into this system because why not? The nitric acid though is ready to go. There's iron plates kind of like all over the place, so I just stuffed a few more onto this line and then brought some over to here to the refineries, and all of it is going great. I ended up painting the machines black though, just because with the pink pipes, the pink machines kind of, I don't know, it's just too much. It didn't make the pipes stand out enough. So instead, they're just painted black. Pipes are still pink. Going over to the canisters here, and up and over to the final machines. I didn't realize this while I was building though, but sadly, we don't get to see the mixing bowl. I really wanted to see all of the mixing stuff. Oh, the pink liquid, but alas, space is just such a commodity nowadays. Now we just have to make it work. And that's okay, we have the project ready to go. Except for the items. So what do we need then? The raw quartz, we need 1,200 per minute. Over here, we need a bunch of limestone. And then we have to belt the silica and the quartz out. Then we gotta find some quartz down there. You guys see any quartz down here? Is there any quartz over here? Wait, you know what? I think we already flew by some of the quartz. Yeah, there's some quartz lines over here. Is one of these quartz belts a pure quartz belt? Well, I go over to these nodes over this way, and I'm thinking, this is pure? Come on, please. Yes, it's pure. We'll have to get the Mark 6 belts as per usual, but we're gonna be okay. Isn't that right, buddy? Thanks, operative. I needed that extra plastic. But no, things are gonna be great. Just gotta follow that belt. It's the one on the left here. Where are we off to? We're going down. We're scooting over past all of the refineries from earlier. Onto this belt highway. Over to the wall. And it looks like it's going down. Where are we going down to? Right to here. And from there, it just stops. Oh, past Gibbs. You are the best. All of the quartz we need for the whole project Now we just have to bring it back upstairs. We could just cut the line upstairs, but I like this belt waterfall we have going on in the front of the base. So from here, we could go up this giant item elevator, but I have kind of used this item elevator up. There is no space in here anymore, okay? I have used this out the wazoo. So I guess we'll just have another quartz pillar, maybe going up the side of this, right up to here, and then we're on the right, and then we're on the right floor. Wow. And as it goes, if we can bring one belt that way, we'll bring all the belts up that way. By the way, if you have a conveyor floor hole and you look at it with a conveyor lift, the conveyor lift can go up an infinite height, which is how you get these beautiful lifts going way further than they're ever supposed to. It's very convenient. But it's also convenient to have a lot of other logistics areas around. So instead of having this be its own little tower, I brought it up to this kind of thing. This is where we're bringing the copper down to make the casings. I was like, hey, we could squeeze another belt into here, right? Sure. So it follows that, goes up to here, scoots underneath the pathway to our main logistics line. And everything else, well, they're just from space and time. All is good. Outputs will come through this way, but for now, just while we test out the system, all of the quartz crystals and silica will be going to awesome sinks. Because of how this system is designed and the recipes are laid out, there's going to be a water feedback loop where the water from here will be an output and the output will go back to the input, yada yada. And if that backs up, we have a problem. If there's too much water here, the whole system will stall. But the pipes should work out just fine. There are pipe rules when it comes to pipeline junctions like this, where when you bring a pipeline in to a vertical junction, the bottom is the first priority. So water that we bring in will go up and over into the machine first. And then the water that goes out rejoins this pipe and goes down into that main input. And just in case, I set this to be a 20 limit so the water doesn't like overflow in this area. Because again, if the water fills out the output, the system collapses and we're very sad. So I did that same thing with every single one of the pipes. And then as for the limestone, just found that from somewhere. There's limestone all over the place. It's no biggie. Pipe work is good though. And I just ran these for a little bit just so we could fill up on the dissolved silica. And now look at this, look inside the fluid buffer. Look at all that pink. It's beautiful. You know what? I know it's not the best recipe in the world, but rule of cool wise, we are going to force this recipe wherever we possibly can. I like all these pink pipes. They're neat. Such a big fan. And I'll be an even bigger fan if the whole system works. That do be a big question though. What is the problem? We don't have water? Okay, I guess I just didn't connect the pipe up. But once we do, we'll see if it collapses or not. So you go from A to B. The water starts filling up the system. It's gonna be slow because I have all these valves here, but we have to have the valves or else disaster. Or we just won't get any water at all. We could also just do that. Do we actually need a pump here? There's water right there. It's 300 per minute. What do you mean you don't need a pump? Wait, does it need a pump? Where's the last pump from down here? Oh my, what did I do? Okay, the last pump is over there. I guess we're already all the way out here. Does this have enough head lift for the system to work? Apparently it does. So why didn't I see any fluids? We're trying to be hydrated here. Why you gotta be a little bit of a punk buster? Come on. Are we working now? No. Maybe it's because of the junction? I don't know. I was told that the valves don't reset head lift, but maybe they actually do. Don't know, don't care. If this solves the problem right here, right now, I'm happy. Just use a little Mark 1 pump because they look cool. Any power around these parts? You make this look better in the future. But for now, set that up. Pump is running. It'll be fine. I do wonder, how did the water get up there if we needed the pump? Mysteries and riddles. Unless there's a problem just with these pipes? It's impossible. Is it not moving? No, I'm starting to go crazy. I'm losing it. But the water, it's right here. The numbers are even moving. It's right there. Billy! What? The water's going into the next machine though. Okay, you know what? I'll have to troubleshoot this. I have no idea why that's being so weird. The other machines are working though, slowly. And yeah, okay, I'll just have to figure out what's going on there and troubleshoot a little bit. Give her some time and see if any other issues arise. But for the most part, this system should, quote unquote, be done. And thank goodness, it turns out I just had to wait a little bit longer, but the whole system is working and working flawlessly. It is beautiful. All the pipe stuff down here worked. I've left it running for a little while now, and it hasn't clogged up yet. All the items going off to the sinks, and the quartz crystals are moving and grooving as well. Yep, no, we're all good. I really did think there'd be more issues. It just took a minute to get started. Now that it is, we have silica and water and everything for days. It's amazing. Look at all those pink pipes. Oh gosh, do we dare look at the power? Somehow we are not even using up our battery power with this running. Amazing. But next time, it won't be so pretty, because now that we have all these precursor materials done, and we have our fused modular frames, all that remains in this project is a couple hundred manufacturers for crystal oscillators, a few dozen assemblers for the circuit boards. Then we'll have the radio control units, which we combine together to make our pressure conversion cubes, which will allow us to finish up the nuclear power plant. So get ready and get hyped, because destiny awaits. But for now, that's gonna be all. So if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And until then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.